Life has a mysterious rhythm, one that doesn't always move according to our plans or timelines. There are moments when we pray with all our heart, when we strive endlessly, when we give our best to something, and yet the answer doesn't come. The door doesn't open. The situation doesn't change. We wait and wait and wait, sometimes in silence, sometimes in tears, wondering if God has forgotten us. But in the unseen realms, something beautiful is happening. Even when it looks like nothing is moving, God is working. He delays, yes, but He never denies. Every delay has divine purpose, and every waiting period carries within it the seeds of transformation, preparation, and alignment with something greater than what we can see. When we feel delayed, we often think it's denial. We start to lose faith. We question our worth, and we begin to doubt the promises we once believed so strongly. But God's timing is not like ours. His ways are higher, His perspective eternal. What we see as a closed door might just be a door He's still carving with perfection. What we see as unanswered prayers might be the very prayers He's refining so that when they are fulfilled, we can truly handle the blessing. God doesn't withhold to punish. He withholds to protect. He doesn't delay to discourage. He delays to develop. The waiting period is not wasted. It's sacred. It's the season when God shapes our hearts, strengthens our faith, and teaches us to rely not on our own understanding, but on His infinite wisdom. Think of the seed buried deep in the soil. To the outside world, it looks like nothing is happening. Days pass, rain comes and goes, and still, there's no visible sign of life. But within the dark soil, life is stirring. The roots are forming, the foundation is strengthening, and soon, at the right moment, that seed will break through the earth and face the light. If the seed were to grow too early, without roots, it would not survive. In the same way, when God delays something in your life, it's because He's growing your roots, your faith, your patience, your resilience. He knows that premature blessings can destroy what unshakable blessings can build. That's why He waits, not because He's forgotten, but because He's preparing something that will last. Sometimes, God delays your breakthrough because He's still aligning the people, the opportunities, and the environment necessary for your blessing to flourish. Imagine Joseph in the Bible, sold by his brothers, falsely accused, imprisoned for years. From the outside, it looked like his dreams had been denied, but in reality, they were being refined. God was orchestrating every step of his journey so that when the time came, Joseph would not just receive a blessing, he would become a blessing to many. If Joseph had been freed earlier, he might have missed the divine setup that made him second in command in Egypt. The delay was not denial. It was divine timing. There's also the story of Abraham and Sarah, who waited decades for a promise to come true. Their patience was tested beyond human endurance, and yet, when the time was right, the impossible happened. The delay didn't mean God forgot. It meant God was waiting for the moment when His glory could be fully revealed. The longer the wait, the greater the miracle. God allows us to walk through waiting seasons not to break our faith, but to deepen it. Because true faith isn't proven when prayers are instantly answered. It's proven when we keep believing even when heaven seems silent. The waiting season is where character is built. It's where trust matures. It's where dependence on God becomes real. In our haste, we often want the blessing without the process, the promise without the preparation. But God loves us too much to give us something we're not yet ready to hold. A parent doesn't hand a child a car before they learn to drive. Not because the parent doesn't want them to have it, but because they want them to have it safely. Likewise, God delays not because He's cruel, but because He's kind. He's teaching us to grow, to surrender, and to trust that His no or not yet is still an act of love. Many people give up in the delay. They stop praying. They stop believing. They settle for less because they think God has denied them. But those who remain steadfast, who continue to trust even when nothing makes sense, those are the ones who see miracles. The delay is the test. and patience is the proof of faith. When you choose to trust God's timing instead of demanding your own, you align yourself with divine flow. You start to realize that what's meant for you cannot be taken away, and what's not meant for you will never truly satisfy. Every closed door, every unanswered prayer, every moment of silence is an invitation to trust deeper, to surrender fully. Sometimes God delays because He wants you to grow beyond what you asked for. You might be praying for a small victory, but He's preparing you for a much greater destiny. If He answered too soon, you might settle for less than you deserve. The delay stretches you, refines your vision, and transforms your desires. What once felt like disappointment becomes the foundation for divine alignment. You begin to understand that God's timing isn't about when you want it. It's about when you're ready for it. And readiness doesn't come through comfort. It comes through waiting, through faith, through letting go. There's a hidden beauty in delay. It teaches us gratitude. When the blessing finally comes, we cherish it deeply because we know what it cost us to wait. Quick blessings fade fast, but blessings received through faith and patience carry eternal value. The wait creates depth. It humbles us. It molds us. It gives us empathy for others who are still waiting. You can't truly encourage someone through delay unless you've been there yourself. That's why God often uses your waiting season to prepare you to help others later. Your story of patience becomes someone else's hope. When we learn to embrace divine timing, peace replaces anxiety. We stop forcing outcomes and start flowing with grace. We no longer see delay as punishment but as preparation. We stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What is this teaching me?" That shift in perspective opens a new spiritual awareness. You begin to feel God's presence even in the pause. You realize that the silence isn't empty. It's full of answers waiting to unfold in the right season. The more you trust, the lighter your heart becomes, because you know you are not waiting alone. God is beside you, shaping you for the blessing that's already yours. Sometimes the delay isn't even about you. It's about others connected to your destiny. Maybe God is preparing someone else who needs to meet you at the right moment. Maybe the job, the relationship, the opportunity you seek is still being refined. You can't rush divine alignment. God is the master weaver. He threads every strand with precision. What looks tangled today will reveal a beautiful pattern tomorrow. The waiting season is the loom on which He weaves your future. Faith grows best in the soil of uncertainty. When everything is clear, there's no room for trust. But when life is unclear, when the delay feels endless, that's when true faith takes root. It's easy to say, "I trust God," when everything goes as planned. It's harder and more powerful to say it when nothing does. Those are the moments heaven applauds. Because in that kind of faith, you're not just believing in what God can do, you're believing in who God is. You're trusting His character, His goodness, His heart. Remember, God's delays are not denials. They are divine appointments waiting to mature. Just like a fruit needs time to ripen, blessings need time to manifest. If you pick the fruit too early, it's bitter. But when you wait, it's sweet, nourishing, and perfect. Don't despise the wait. Use it. Grow in it. Let it refine your patience, strengthen your prayer, and deepen your gratitude. Every moment of delay is building something in you that will sustain you when the blessing comes. And when it does come, you'll look back and realize that the delay was never wasted. You'll see how every detour led you exactly where you needed to be. You'll understand that God didn't say, "No," He said, "Not yet," because He was preparing something far better than you imagined. Every tear, every prayer, every sleepless night will make sense. The same God who allowed you to wait will honor your faithfulness in His perfect time. His promises never expire. His plans never fail. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared for a divine unveiling that will make you say, "Now I understand why it took so long." So, if you are in a season of waiting, hold on. Don't lose heart. Keep believing. Keep trusting. The God who started the work in you will finish it in His time. The doors that are meant for you will open with ease. The opportunities that belong to you will never pass you by. You don't need to chase what's already chosen for you. Rest in the truth that God's delay is His way of saying, I'm not done preparing the best for you yet. In the silence, He is speaking. In the stillness, He is shaping. In the delay, He is designing something divine. And when it finally unfolds, you'll realize that the wait was worth it. Every second of patience will return as a lifetime of blessing. Because truly, God delays, but He never denies. Life often unfolds in mysterious ways that test our patience and challenge our understanding. We dream, we pray, we work hard, and yet, sometimes nothing seems to move. It feels like the heavens are silent, like the blessings we long for are locked behind invisible doors. We begin to ask, why me? Why now? Why not yet? But in those very moments, something sacred is happening. What feels like a delay is not denial, it's divine timing. God's clock doesn't tick like ours. His timing is not delayed. It's perfect, though we may not see it until much later. The truth is timeless. God delays, but He never denies. Every soul that walks this earth experiences moments of waiting, seasons where nothing seems to happen, where prayers go unanswered, where the light at the end of the tunnel feels too far. It's easy to lose hope when you can't see progress, when you've done everything right yet still find yourself standing still. But God's delays are never empty. They are full of divine purpose, hidden lessons, and unseen miracles taking shape behind the curtain of time. Think about it. When a farmer plants a seed, he doesn't wake up the next day expecting a tree. He knows that growth takes time. Roots must form beneath the soil before branches can stretch toward the sky. In the same way, when God plants a promise in your heart, He gives it time to grow. The waiting season is the growing season. What looks like nothing happening is often the most important part of your journey. Because before God fulfills His promise to you, He fulfills His purpose in you. Sometimes, God delays to prepare you for the blessing. You might think you're ready, but He knows your heart better than you do. Maybe He's refining your patience, teaching you humility, or strengthening your character so that when the blessing arrives, it doesn't destroy you. Many times, premature blessings become burdens. What comes too early can be lost too soon. That's why God waits, because He wants you to be strong enough to carry what He's about to give. Look at the life of Joseph. He was given a vision by God that one day he would be exalted. But before the dream came true, he was betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and imprisoned for years. To others, it looked like failure after failure. But every step of delay was a step toward destiny. God wasn't denying Joseph. He was preparing him. He was shaping his heart through suffering, teaching him leadership through hardship, and molding him into the man who would one day save nations. If Joseph had given up during his delay, he would never have reached his destiny. Sometimes we forget that delay is not denial, it's direction. God is not saying, no, He's saying, not yet. I have something better. You may be praying for a specific door to open, but God knows that beyond that door lies something that could harm you or limit you. So He closes it, not to hurt you, but to protect you. You might feel disappointed now, but one day you'll look back and thank Him for every unanswered prayer, because they led you to something greater. There's also the story of Hannah in the Bible, who prayed for years for a child. Her heart ached with waiting, but in her tears and prayers, her faith deepened. When the time came, she gave birth to Samuel, a prophet who changed history. The delay was not a denial. It was a setup for a miracle that would bless generations. Sometimes your delay is not just about you. It's about what God will do through you. The blessing He's preparing might impact lives far beyond your own. Delay also builds intimacy with God. When everything comes easily, We rarely seek Him deeply. But in the waiting, we cry, we kneel, we listen. We learn to lean not on our understanding, but on His heart. The waiting season becomes a sacred classroom where faith is tested and love is proven. It's where we move from knowing about God to truly knowing Him. When nothing works, we realize that He is everything. We live in a world obsessed with speed. We want instant answers, instant results, instant gratification. But God works in seasons, not seconds. He knows that true transformation takes time. Just like a diamond forms under pressure and gold is refined in fire, your soul is strengthened in delay. It's during the wait that your patience, trust, and gratitude are forged. The longer the delay, the deeper the faith. And remember, the enemy loves to whisper during the wait. He'll tell you, "It's never going to happen. God has forgotten you. You're wasting your time." But those are lies. The enemy attacks hardest when you're closest to your breakthrough. Don't let temporary silence make you doubt eternal promises. God is not ignoring you. He's working in ways you can't yet see. Every closed door, every rejection, every detour is leading you to the right destination. When God delays, it's because He's aligning everything perfectly. Sometimes the people who are meant to help you aren't ready yet. Sometimes the place you're meant to go isn't prepared. And sometimes you're still growing into the version of yourself that can handle what's coming. You can't rush divine alignment. It's like a symphony. Every note must come at the right moment. One early note can ruin the entire song. Trust that God, the composer of your life, knows exactly when to let your melody rise. Think about Jesus raising Lazarus. When Lazarus was sick, his sister sent word to Jesus, expecting him to come immediately. But Jesus delayed. He waited 4 days. When he finally arrived, Lazarus was dead. To them, it looked like denial. But Jesus said, "This sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God." He delayed so that when He did move, it would reveal His power in a way no one could deny. When God delays, it's often because He wants to do something so miraculous that no one but Him can take the credit. Maybe you've been waiting for healing, a relationship, a job, or a breakthrough. Maybe you've cried at night, wondering if your prayers even reach heaven. But know this, not one prayer goes unheard. Not one tear goes unseen. God collects every tear and uses it to water the seeds of your future. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't happen. The promise still stands. The delay doesn't cancel it. It confirms that it's special. The best blessings often come after the longest waits. When they finally arrive, they carry peace, joy, and divine confirmation. You'll feel it in your spirit. You'll know, "This is what I was waiting for." The wait refines your discernment so you can recognize what's truly meant for you. Without the delay, you might have accepted something lesser, mistaking it for God's best. But God delays to remove counterfeits and prepare you for the real thing. Delay also teaches surrender. It's easy to trust God when life goes your way, but real faith is trusting Him even when it doesn't. When you stop trying to control everything and simply say, "Lord, I trust You even if I don't understand," that's when peace enters your soul. You stop striving and start resting. You realize that God doesn't need your panic. He needs your patience. You don't have to fight for what's already written in your destiny. What's meant for you cannot pass you by. You may not see it now, but one day you'll thank God for every delay. You'll realize that the waiting was never wasted. It taught you strength, humility, and faith. It brought you closer to God. It made you who you are. And when the blessing finally comes, it will be so perfect that you'll forget the pain of the wait. You'll smile and say, "Now I understand why it took so long." Because the truth is, God never forgets His children. His timing is divine precision. He knows what you need, when you need it, and how you'll handle it. He's never late. He's always right on time. Even when the world says, "It's over," God says, Watch what I can do. He turns delays into testimonies, detours into destinies, and disappointments into divine appointments. So don't lose heart. Don't give up just because you don't see progress. Keep walking by faith. Keep believing when it's hard. Keep trusting when it's dark. The same God who guided you this far won't abandon you now. The delay is the bridge between the promise and the fulfillment. And every step on that bridge matters. Remember, Noah waited 120 years for the flood that proved his faith. Abraham waited 25 years for Isaac. Joseph waited 13 years for his dream. Moses waited 40 years before leading his people. Jesus himself waited 30 years before beginning his ministry. Every great destiny requires great patience. Every divine promise requires divine timing. When you feel like giving up, remind yourself, God's silence is not absence. His delay is not denial. His timing is not late, it's perfect. Your blessing is not lost. It's simply being prepared. And when the appointed time comes, no force in heaven or earth can stop what He has planned for you. So keep praying. Keep believing. Keep trusting. The waiting room may feel lonely, but you're not alone. God is right there with you, whispering, "Hold on, my child. The blessing is on the way." And when it arrives, it will come suddenly, beautifully, powerfully, so perfectly timed that you'll know it could only be God. Because in the end, one truth remains eternal and unshakable. God delays, but He never denies.